I want to explain why a lot of smart money is buying these Sword and Shield booster boxes. Now, I'm talking about people that missed out on Sword and Shield and the people that weren't able to buy these Sword and Shield boxes before they ran up. Because, especially now, there's a lot of new people in Pokemon. There are some people that maybe are starting to get into this investing space that maybe did miss out on Sword and Shield. Because, a lot of us that were around for a while, we were able to get a lot of these Sword and Shield boxes in the $100 range. But now these have, grown a lot. But recently, a lot of the boxes have started to see some pullback, which honestly isn't surprising because we saw a lot of these booster boxes from Sword and Shield, Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, Lost Origin. We saw them all at the 200s, and all of them ran up to 400 plus. Fusion Strike ran up to 500, Chilling ran to 400, Lost Origin ran to 400, but now we're seeing some pullback. Now, this isn't like crazy to see because when a box goes from 250 to 400 within a month, you would expect something like that to happen. And I think it ran up to the point where, people were probably like stopping buying. Like there was people still buying it, but I think it got to a point where more people were listing than more people were buying. And we started to see some pullback and a lot more got listed. And I think there was just people just undercutting each other. And now we're seeing some prices dipping for these Sword and Shield boxes. Now, this is actually a perfect opportunity for people that are just getting into Pokemon investing right now and you want to buy some Sword and Shield era booster boxes. This is your time to buy because honestly, right now, nobody's really talking about Sword and Shield. Everybody's just talking about Prismatic Evolutions, Team Rocket, Journey Together. People aren't focused on Sword and Shield, and we saw that run up happen. And honestly, like I feel like a run up like that is going to happen in the future again, but you don't want to wait for that to happen. Right now, the market for Sword and Shield has cooled off. Everybody at one point was talking about Sword and Shield, but now prices aren't moving. People aren't talking about it. This is when you go in and buy, and especially right now, you consider that a lot of the Scarlet and Violet stuff is pretty expensive. Paldea Evolved booster boxes at $200. You have Surging Sparks at $250. Prismatic obviously is still double MSRP. Some other stuff even like Twilight, Stellar Crown, like things like that can still get reprinted. So it's just over the place in Scarlet and Violet. It's kind of hard to find really good buys because everything is sort of expensive. So definitely buying some of these, Sword and Shield boxes that aren't going to get reprinted again and buying on this dip is honestly, in my opinion, really smart to do if you don't have any of these and you want to buy. Now is your time because nobody's talking about these. So Lost Origin. Lost Origin, at one point, the lowest listing was, 400, I think it was like 410 or it was in the low 400s. But now the lowest listing is 355. And when you look at the sales data, you can see here like the huge difference. There was a lot being sold during this time when it was running up. But now that things have started to plateau and things have actually gone down, you can see the sales volume has dropped quite a bit. But still, like I said, this is a good opportunity to buy in. Obviously, if you're trying to sell, now is not really the best market for that because prices have dipped and it's kind of cooled off. But definitely, if you're trying to buy, this is the time because things have started to dip. Who knows when things will go back up for Sword and Shield? I think it might take a little bit of time, especially we have Journey Together, then the Team Rocket set. So I don't think, you'd have to really rush to buy any of these, but I think it's a good idea to at least buy some and kind of dollar cost average, maybe buy, some when you see deals and then just wait and, wait for more deals. You don't have to rush to buy these. These aren't going to be one of those things that just skyrockets instantly. I think the market for Sword and Shield is going to cool down for a little bit, but during this time, if you find deals, I'd go on eBay, Facebook Marketplace maybe, finding some people selling because there are a lot more sellers than buyers right now for Sword and Shield boxes. But Lost Origin, definitely in my opinion, is still a really good pickup at 350 because when you consider the cards inside of Lost Origin, I mean the Giratina is now over $600, and this is a $350 booster box. So I still think it's a great pickup. Aerodactyl is another secondary chase. It also has a trainer gallery with the Pikachus. Overall, I think just $350 is still pretty cheap for Lost Origin, considering what it has inside of the set. So I still think Lost Origin is great. Fusion Strike, at one point it was above $500. Now it's down to $450. Now Fusion Strike at $500, I told people it really probably wasn't gonna get any cheaper. So I said people, then buying right now probably wouldn't be the worst idea, but it probably wouldn't be my first choice because Fusion Strike was literally like the first box to just skyrocket and it was like half a grand. So I was like, it's probably not the best idea, but if you want it, just buy it. Well, at $500, it did go down to now $450. So if you want Fusion Strike, now would probably, also be a good time to buy. Just any of these on this dip would be good to buy. So Fusion Strike now at 450. If you want Fusion Strike, you can see, the sales volume still like a couple sell every day, but you can see here it's definitely not as much as before. But definitely Fusion Strike if you want it. I mean, it dropped like $50. This is kind of, a small discount now you can buy at. And you guys, the Gengar now is like $700. And the Espeon is almost $300. The Mew is almost $200. So yeah, things have gone up a lot for Fusion Strike, obviously also because the booster boxes have gone up. But now that they've dipped a little bit, the value in the set is pretty high now. Yeah, so I just think Fusion Strike, if you want one of those, definitely is the first box that ran up and sort of had its, fame in its time. I think Fusion Strike still is great, but it is a little bit more expensive than everything else. But if you have the money, I think at 450 Fusion Strike is still not that expensive. Chilling Reign. Now, Chilling Reign has always been a weird one. It's always been sort of, weird. Like, it's always been behind Lost Origin and, Fusion Strike. And the reason for that, I truly believe, and I talk about this all the time, is it doesn't have that huge chase. Like, Lost Origin has the Giratina at $600. Fusion Strike has the Gengar at $700. Chilling Reign doesn't have that. Like, it's a deeper set, but, what history has shown is that people care about that top chase, the top chase, like, being the most expensive card. And if a set is a deeper set, but only has, like, a $300 chase versus a set that maybe is not as deep, but has a $600 or $700 chase, those products are probably going to do better. And we can see that here. Chilling Reign did actually hit at one point the same as Lost Origin at 400, but you can see here it has dropped more because there just isn't as much demand for Chilling Reign. So you can see right now the lowest listing is at 315, which is quite a bit of a dip considering, like I said, these hit $400. That's almost $100. That's $75. And like I said, go on eBay, go on Facebook Marketplace. You can probably find some better deals, but yeah, this is very cheap. You can't see the market price here. It still says like 340. But yeah, you can look at this, guys. There's literally, look at this huge gap where just none were sold. Chilling Reign isn't a very sought after box, unlike Lost Origin, Fusion Strike. Those have way more sales data. You can see here with Chilling Reign, not much really gets sold. And you can see here with the price guide, like I said, I mean, a $300 chase is still not like cheap, but it's not $600 or $700. So that's definitely why I believe Chilling Reign is probably, unless these cards run up, I don't see Chilling Reign ever really surpassing Lost Origin or Fusion. I don't know. Blaziken has always been like a somewhat popular alternate art, but it's never really been up there with the Giratina or the Gengar. It's never been talked about like that. I think it's definitely like a mid-tier, I would say, alternate art, even though, yeah, it's $300. People don't talk about the Blaziken that much. So I just think because of that, Chilling Reign, it'll always be a decent set, but it won't be like Lost Origin or Fusion Strike level because it just doesn't have that super, expensive card. And, I always talk about these ones. These are the more, I guess, cheaper, good alternate art sets. Brilliant Stars, I feel like, is a super undervalued one right now. I've always talked about it. Brilliant Stars, it hit its peak only at 300. It hasn't dropped really that much, to be honest, because it didn't really reach like that $400 level. But even at this price and even this tiny dip you're seeing, if you can find any good deals, like this Charizard, I feel like it's going to have its run at some point. I still think this is very cheap at $200. Like, it has gone up, but I still think it's really cheap. And, when you also consider that a lot of the Trainer Gallery cards, the Umbreons, the Sylveons, because obviously Prismatic Evolutions, those have also gone up a lot. I think it just makes it even more of a buy than it was before, especially with this, EV hype thing going on. So I think Brilliant Stars just in the long run is going to perform extremely well. And when you can buy it for under $300, there's nothing to say. I've always thought Brilliant Stars, was sort of underrated because it has Charizards and Evolutions. And lastly here, Silver Tempest. Silver Tempest, in my opinion, I would say it's a little bit worse than Brilliant, but it's still good and it is cheaper than Brilliant by like $50. So if you don't have a lot of money and you're maybe trying to have like a, I guess a price range of the low 200s, I would go with Silver. I honestly would pick Silver Tempest over Astral Radiance. They're like the same price. Because Silver Tempest, the Lugia has gone up a lot. It's almost $300 now. And that's kind of it for the main set. Trainer Gallery has Rayquaza. That one has gone up a lot too. And, Astral Radiance, it doesn't have a like almost $300 chase card. The Machamp, I don't even know what it's at, but I know it's not close to $300. And the Trainer Gallery does have the Starmie, which is pretty expensive, but Lugia is going to carry Silver Tempest. Astro Radiance has them champ. It's not that strong of a, alternate art. I'd pick Silver Tempest. So, I just wanted to go back to Sword and Shield, even though many people aren't really talking about it right now because it's not what's hot, but it was like a month ago. It's just that now the market has sort of cooled off and prices have dipped. And smart money is going to look at this dip and be like, okay, especially if you missed out, especially maybe you just came in now and you're just wanting to now just buy some Sword and Shield boxes. This is your time to buy when things are cooling off. So that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments if you're new to this whole Pokemon investing space and if you're buying any of these Sword and Shield boxes. I know a lot of people that watch me probably already have bought all these Sword and Shield boxes when they were like in the 200s or even 100s. But I know there are a lot of new people watching, Pokemon channels and stuff. So wanted to make this video for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.